we did a recent study looking at the carbon footprint of data centers globally. We came to about 2.5 billion tons cumulatively by 2030. It was much bigger than we expected. Daunting. At the same time, Lisa, you mentioned on the positive side, AI could benefit in so many ways. It could help with grid management. It could help with material science to improve battery technology. It could do so many things. Where do you see the biggest promise of AI in terms of helping with the energy transition?
I think that kind of to what I said earlier and what Greg said, the demand modeling side, so positioning of new power sources. There's an enormous amount of data out there. To your point about the Grid Data's website, you can see the whole US grid. You can derive insights from kind of locations of power that you need to make power use and power supply. You need to make assumptions about where there are going to be new demand centers, how many people are going to have EVs, how many people are going to have heat pumps, how many people are going to have batteries. So you need, I think, the data ingestion and analysis with the application of subject matter experts in the power space who understand kind of how these things work and have worked. That is a really interesting kind of application. It's more machine learning than kind of just pure AI. I think that machine learning, specifically, the application of subject matter expertise to the problem. You see a lot of companies that are kind of using it to model potential outcomes for different catalysts that could be more energy efficient, for example. And instead of having to continue, make a new catalyst recipe, then put it into the test, you can iterate based on machine learning, kind of what is going to happen if you were to produce it, which massively reduces your cost of production. So I think there's a lot of different applications, but I would say that where I feel most comfortable is in that machine learning space rather than the just general AI. But I think that's where, hopefully after this mania of generating faster and faster and smarter AI is kind of somewhat calmed, we will get to the stage where people are then able to utilize it with subject matter expertise to answer some of the really difficult questions, one of which is demand, power demand or power supply, power location, and the other is just so many different aspects of the transition. One of the things that's really spiked people's interest in fusion recently is that supercomputers and that kind of iterative power of modeling has enabled people to test a lot of scenarios much faster and much more cheaply. Not cheaply enough and not necessarily fast enough, but we're getting there. So that kind of accelerated trend, I think, is very exciting.